Hello and welcome to Doctor's Orders here at the Chrissy B Show. I'm Dr. Rob Hicks. Now, pregnancy is a very exciting time, but it's also a very busy time, and it's very easy to forget lots of the advice and the things that you need to do for a healthy pregnancy. So I'd like to share with you my top 10 tips for having a healthy pregnancy. Tip number 1 is to remember to book all your antenatal appointments and attend these appointments. These are your opportunity to get good information and advice and to ask the questions that may be on your mind and get answers to these questions. For example, when should I have my next antenatal scan? Tip number 2, just like in all walks of health life, a healthy diet is essential during pregnancy. That means at least 5 portions of fruit and veg, lots of carbohydrates, lots of protein, making sure that food is washed properly and that it's cooked thoroughly. Now, during pregnancy, there are some foods that women are advised not to eat. So let me give you some examples. Shark, swordfish and marlin, for example, because they may have toxins in them like mercury that can harm an unborn child. Certain cheeses are not recommended in pregnancy, like soft blue cheeses, like Danish blue, or soft cheeses with white rind, like brie, for example. And off the menu are things like liver and pate. Now, this is not an extensive list, these are just some examples. So do have a chat with your midwife or your doctor, or check out one of the pregnancy websites for a full list of all the foods that really you shouldn't be eating whilst you're pregnant. And remember, during pregnancy, you don't have to eat for 2. It's only during the last 3 months of pregnancy that a woman needs an additional 200 calories a day. So don't go overdoing it with the food. Now, exercise, very, very important in pregnancy, and really, generally speaking, you can maintain the same level of exercise as you would do before you fell pregnant. But it's best not to do exercises and activities where you may have contact injuries or indeed falls. But always check out with your midwife and your GP what exercise are right for you as an individual. Now, in pregnancy, it is recommended to have certain supplements. So one is folic acid. It's advised that women take a daily supplement of folic acid from the moment they start trying to become pregnant and for the first 12 weeks of their pregnancy. Now, this is to protect the baby's spine and reduce the risk of the baby developing a spinal problem like spina bifida. Another supplement that's recommended throughout pregnancy each day is vitamin D. And that's to help a baby's bones develop in a healthy fashion. Now, coming back to exercises, there are some exercises that all women in pregnancy are advised to do. Now, traditionally, these pelvic floor exercises were advised for after you had your baby, but now we know that there are benefits to doing these throughout pregnancy as well. Now, the pelvic floor muscles, they're like a sling, and they support the bladder and the womb and the vagina. But during pregnancy hormones weaken these muscles, as does the pressure of the baby on these muscles. So this leads to problems like stress incontinence, for example. Now, these exercises are very, very easy to do. What you do is you squeeze the muscles as if you're trying to stop passing urine or stop yourself from breaking wind. And you do sets of these a few times a day. And you can do them anytime and any place at your convenience. In fact, whilst I've been talking about them, I've been doing a couple too. You didn't even notice I was doing them, did you? Now, alcohol is something that experts say you should avoid when you're pregnant. The reason being is there is a greater risk of having a miscarriage if you drink alcohol. And if you have too much alcohol, this can affect a baby's development in the womb. So let's leave the alcohol till another time. Likewise, smoking. I don't need to tell you this, do I? But I'll just remind you, don't smoke during pregnancy. Again, smoking increases the risk of miscarriage, premature delivery, having a low birth weight baby, and indeed increases the risk of cot death. And it's never too late to give up smoking and reap the benefits of that. So if you want to know how you can do it, have a word with your GP or your pharmacist or indeed your midwife. Now, most of us enjoy a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, but during pregnancy, it's wise not to overdo it with the caffeine. And the experts advise no more than 200 milligrams of caffeine a day. So that's about the amount of caffeine that you get in 2 instant cups of coffee. Remember though, caffeine is also in tea, it's also in energy drinks, and it's also found in chocolate. So keep an eye on those labels. And my tip number 9 is relax, get enough rest and sleep. You need your energy for when that little baby arrives. It's a tiring process being a parent, but it's definitely a fun one. And that leads me on to my last tip: enjoy your pregnancy. And that's doctor's orders.